Hello everyone, it's YT Kerfuffles here, and remember in the last episode we did our second infinity, so I'm gonna load up challenge 8 again, and we're gonna do it. So it's auto-buying the first dimensions. I have to do a few runs like this, but it's gonna be a little bit faster because we got a new infinity upgrade with our second infinity point, and hopefully we'll get a third infinity point, and then we will get more upgrades. And so I want to look at these upgrades. So as you can see, these next few upgrades are that dimensions gain a multiplier based on infinitied stat. That's basically how many times I've infinitied. So the multiplier goes up by 0.2 for every infinity. So when I get this upgrade, it will be 1.6 on the first and 8th dimension, and then I'll get it for all the dimensions, and then by then it will be 2.2. And at this point, it means the whole game will run 2.2 times faster, which is pretty nice. It will make infinity runs faster, and basically, the goal of the game is gonna eventually be to get our infinity time down. We're already at, look here, 46 minutes. This thing where it says what challenge we're in, first of all, it doesn't exist in the regular website, and second of all, it's totally broken, so just totally ignore it, please. And as you can see, we are already about to finish doing challenge 8, which is pretty nice. No, not finish doing challenge 8, I mean like finish this dimension boost run. Unfortunately, this one isn't faster because it doesn't give a boost to the first dimension. The dimension boosts, but you know, the infinity upgrades are pretty powerful, so well, pretty powerful at this stage. Because what I've noticed is that things is that the game, like, the exponent scales up so much as the game goes on that certain boosts that were powerful before become negligible. And like, eventually a multiplier on dimensions won't make the whole game run that much faster because there will be other factors. And the numbers will be so big that the difference won't even be very noticeable. Even though now a 2 times multiplier on all dimensions makes the whole game 2 times faster. And then you'll need, like, I don't know, much bigger boosts on much more powerful things to make any meaningful progression. And so, I think I'm just gonna do what I did last time and cut until I unlock the 8th dimension. So I will see you then. Okay guys, so we've done 5 dimension boosts, and I've noticed that the game is pretty fast. It never felt this fast on the main game, which is weird. Usually I don't get this achievement on the main game. Usually I do my first infinity in like 3 days. I don't know what extremely small time multiplier means, but maybe that's the reason. Are there any other achievement rewards? Oh, yeah, last episode, I forgot to mention this achievement, that we got. And I just don't see any reward that makes the game significantly faster. Yeah, I don't see anything. And these are normal. Nothing down here, and this row doesn't even exist. So, well, it does exist, but only much later when I do a series on different mods. It will stop existing once I said I would, like, once I get to a certain point, I'll split this series into 3, and this achievement row will only exist on 1, and I'm assuming you're just learning the regular game, and in the regular game, this one doesn't exist. I just keep explaining it because I really hope you understand that I have to do this in order to split the series into 3 later on. So this is for advanced players only, but you can't really export a save from the main game to new game update. Although there is a way to do it from the main game to new game +++. So, and there's also a way to export it from a mod to the main game. So what I can do is I can export this game to the main game once I get to the point I want to be at, and then export that game to new game +++, and so I'll have all 3. And so I have to do it this way because on the main game I can't export it here. On new game +++, I can't export it here. I can't export it to the main game then here, so I have to start here because on any of the other modes I can't export my save here. And for those that don't know what export means, you basically can export your save, and that like copies the code so that you can import it, and then that code will like encode all your progress, if that makes sense. So you can see how fast it's going, even without the boost from the dimension shift. It feels like how fast it was going on our first Infinity with that boost. So look how far we've come. And the thing is, usually my first challenge 8 run takes like twice as long as it did yesterday, and we've nearly unlocked the 8th dimension, so yeah, let's sacrifice now for a huge sacrifice multiplier. I'm just gonna M on this, and get my progress up quite fast, and then do my... I also turned on my 8th dimension autobuyer. I do my ritual of, you know, just, sacrificing faster and faster, as you saw last time. So it sort of gets slower as we get closer to the 8th dimension because we're less tick speed upgrades ahead. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we have to kind of wait on that and grind for more tick speed upgrades, which is probably gonna just naturally happen as we're waiting for this to get to 2 times. And there we go. It's nearly there. 2 times. Now the tick speed is a little bit faster than last time, so we should get back to 8 dimensions faster. And as the 8 dimensions get an exponentially increasing boost, that's gonna help. It's even faster than exponential because the thing is that you can get a higher sacrifice multiplier in a shorter space of time as the challenge goes on. So it's actually faster than exponential. Although it starts quite slow. It's like woo, as you saw in the last video. Challenge 8 is like that. The reason why it's faster is because this whole part, which would have normally been a grind, just happens basically instantly. And then this part, even though it's only 20%, if it's like 60% of the grind, even though it's 20%, that's still 60% of the speed, and most of the grinding is just in this part. Oh, it's 2.5, nice. I wasn't even paying attention because, you know, sometimes I'm just bored and I try to talk about different stuff. So funny story, on my first ever playthrough of this game, where I only got to about where I was supposed to start Infinity Challenge 5 and then just stopped. You'll understand what that means later. It was like E80 infinity points where I stopped in that playthrough. It was my first playthrough of this game, and what happened was, with this achievement, I thought that it was this number here that was supposed to be, like, in order. And so I didn't get the achievement, and then I was just desperately waiting to reach eternity so I could had another chance to get it. Because I mentioned that with this achievement, you can't really get it later. But you can actually get it right after reaching eternity, and I'll explain why. I don't really know why you can't get it, like later on, but yeah, it just gets more difficult. And now one thing about breaking infinity, that's how you get lots of infinity points, because at the moment, like, you get one infinity point each infinity point run, and you do think, like, but how in the world do you get this many? Because, like, when you break infinity, oh my god, I keep forgetting to sacrifice. When you break infinity, it allows you to basically get more infinity points the higher above infinity you are. So you can actually get a meaningful amount of them. And the fact that I keep forgetting to sacrifice means I get a massive boost to my 8 dimensions and more tick speed upgrades, so this might actually be the way to go. I'll do sacrifices at, like, high numbers, you know? It's like, slowest before you get to your last tick speed upgrade, but then when you start getting more tick speed upgrades, it gets faster again. So I'm gonna go for like 5 times each time, and then eventually it'll get faster. And now I have something to say, just about my life, but also about a lot of other people's life, and I think you can already guess what it is. So as you know, there's a global pandemic, and we're basically trapped in our home, and I'm having a miserable life at the moment. I'm trying to learn to program my own game, but it's not easy, and I'm just overwhelmed with the complexity and stuff. But here's one big thing. There are extensions to the Antimatter Dimensions game, but they add a lot of new content, but they're not actually very good. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's the case, and so what I really want is the reality update. It would be so cool, but unfortunately, it's not out, and it's like the only thing that will make me happy in this miserable life, and I'm just really sad about it. So, yeah, I really hope Heavy Pal is still working on it, because if not, it's just, I'd be really sad. I would wish that I had never even known about the update. Because, really, my life is pretty bad at the moment, and it's just, so the reality update is an upcoming update to the main game, and, when you finish the main game, you just have to wait for it. And I'm just sad because on the Discord he said 7 months ago that he needed testers, but I never heard from him since then. He just put a form where you can apply to be a tester, and I'm thinking of doing that, but because it's only like testing, the balancing won't be like perfect and stuff, so even if he does let me be a tester, it might not be very good because, after all, I'm only testing it, so the balancing will probably be off. Like, the balancing of the game up to the current end game feels good because he's had testers and stuff, but with this update, he might still make some tweaks. And so I'm gonna get to the end game in a few days, so in the very small chance that it comes out in the next few days, my life will be good again. Although I did come up with a ridiculous strategy to try to make it come out, and when I say ridiculous, I mean it. What I was gonna do was just insist on not eating anything, which I actually want to do because I'm gonna go crazy if I have to keep eating the food at home, and to be honest, that's my situation at the moment, so if I don't eat anything, well, not exactly don't eat anything, but I was thinking I would not eat anything unless the update came out. And so according to the many world theory, the only world in which I survived would be the one in which the update came out. So I would sort of force it to come out. But my dad insisted that that wouldn't work. So, yeah, I've got to just deal with it. We're nearly at 5 times again. This might actually be the way to go. 5 times. So comment down below if you think my ridiculous strategy will actually work. And, if so, then I might actually try it, because the reality update, it'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The fact that I have to eat the food at home and go crazy, and the fact that I just want the reality update to come out because the other extension mods, well, I heard that they're not good. They just have too many time walls and stuff, and they're just not fun. But they add a lot of content, but I haven't heard that it's necessarily very good content. Now, dimensional sacrifice. It's up to like 4 times again. So yeah, that's my life in a nutshell at the moment. And there's another bad thing. So it's that my teachers expect me to like do remote learning, like they set work, and well, it was fine for a few days, but then it just became totally overwhelming, and now I'm completely falling apart, and I've missed about 30% of my lessons because, I mean, everything's just too much for me at the moment. Okay, I'm getting to the point where I can get the 8th dimension really fast, so I figured I'd just try clicking the sacrifice button quickly for a little bit, which is it might be like slightly faster than waiting till 5 times. I mean, 4 of these 1.5 clicks is roughly equivalent to 1 5-click. And I guess that yeah, and these are gonna get faster, so yeah, it's just growing exponentially at the moment. The challenge completion is near because this is pretty much the fast part now. Like, I just have to click this every 5 seconds, so I'm gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just keep doing that. It's gonna become faster and faster. Maybe I'll go for a higher multiplier. If that would work. Or go for some tick speed upgrades so that I can get even higher multipliers. Maybe I'll go for 10 times this run. Of course, it is slow up to the next tick speed upgrade, but then the pace picks up again after that, just because, I mean, you're, like as you go to the next tick speed upgrade, you lose the number of tick speed upgrades ahead, but then when you get new ones, it's faster again. Here we go. 8 times. That's pretty good. Let's go now. Now let's do that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You see, it just gets faster. Let's go at 2 times. Hopefully this is not too slow. Let's go at 3 times. Actually 2 times seems pretty good. I just have to click this a bunch and then I'll inevitably reach infinity. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Look at this. This is all going down. Now I can click it every half second. I can spam it. Well, basically spam it. And now I'm going to reach infinity. It's crazy how much the pace picks up towards the end. Okay. Now, we got another infinity point. We did it in 32 minutes. That's crazy. For the upgrades. Well, I mean, I'm going to get this one. But I want to get them in this order. As for the multipliers, I'm not going to worry about those. The challenges as well. They're quite difficult at the moment. I like to do most of them. Well, some of them are quite easy, and I'll explain later, but I like to do most of the challenges once I've got the first 3 columns of infinity upgrades. The 4th one doesn't work on challenges either, so once we've got this, there's nothing else we can really do to... There's no other big boosts we can really use, so I like to just do the challenges once I've got this set of upgrades here. So now I think that I mean, we did another infinity, so I think that in the next episode we'll actually do a few infinities in the episode, but in this episode I talked about how my life is. I hope you can help me, and, well, I'll see you guys later. Bye! Oh, and one more thing. I'm aware that this situation sucks for everyone and it's not just me. That helps me feel a little bit better. So you don't have to comment about that. I already know it. If you already did, then I understand. But anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye!